Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Princess Margaret Hospital in St. Thomas seeing surge in COVID-19 cases. JET calls for findings of ecological assessment on the Rio Cobra to be made public. And later in sports, Jamaica mines gold at CAC Games. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. Princess Margaret Hospital in St. Thomas is reporting a surge in COVID-19 cases. This while other facilities are seeing an increase in patient load. The details in this report. The latest data from the Ministry of Health show that between June 27 and July 3, there are 84 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the overall figure to 155,376. 15 persons died from the virus during the period. Regional Director for the Southern Regional Health Authority, Errol Green, says Princess Margaret Hospital in St. Thomas is seeing a surge in COVID-19 cases.
In fact, some of our nurses and healthcare workers in St. Thomas are now patients at the Princess Margaret Hospital. The accident and emergency area is full to capacity, bursting at the seams. We have different situations in other hospitals in the region. Kingston Public Hospital, for example, has been experiencing over 100% capacity for the past 3 weeks or so. We have had to place some of the patients from KPH at the feeder hospital at St. Joseph's.
However, Mr. Green says he's unable to say if this is the case at health facilities across the country, adding that an assessment is being done. With more people showing up at health facilities for care, the nurse shortage remains a problem. According to Mr. Green, of the 198 nurses at KPH, 45 did not show up on Friday. No explanation was given. He stressed the need for more midwives.
Victoria Jubilee Hospital, for example, we have a neonate intensive care unit, NICU, which is over capacity at this time. We monitor the situation from day to day, and over the past 2 months or so, we would have had upwards of 50 neonates in the NICU. The international rate of nursing for these persons in ICU is 1-to-1, one nurse per patient. Sometimes at Jubilee, we can only afford to find 3 for the night shift, or maybe 9 for the day shift.
A recent survey revealed 40 to 45% of patients who show up at hospitals can be seen at primary health facilities like the clinics.
We usually aim at about 3 hours to try move those patients. Emergency patients within 5 to 10 minutes, and then there is another group below there. The yellow patients, you try to move them within about an hour. Well, these are the patients who can wait, like, once you have triage them, you put them in a category. The category red is the most urgent cases, then yellow, and then you have the green level. That's how we categorize them.
The police in Manchester are investigating a beheading in Whitney Turn on the Manchester-Clarendon border. Residents found the head of a man now identified as Ruan Barrett in a shopping bag at the front of a fruit stall along the main road about 6:30 this morning. Police say the deceased lived in porous Manchester and was on their radar for rape, assault at common law and burglary. We'll have more details on this story in Primetime News at 7. To a developing story now, TVJ is on the scene of a double murder where 2 men believed to be goat thieves were found with chop and bullet wounds in content at Delphi St. James. TVJ News understands that police were called to the scene after men's lifeless bodies were found in a black vehicle with public passenger PPV registration plates. A farmer from the area who spoke to our news team says for a while now, a black voxy has been terrorizing the area, transporting animals. Police say they found a goat in the vehicle but have not confirmed anything else. The incident comes days after a similar mob killing of 2 men said to be cattle thieves in Gibraltar, St. Anne. We'll have more details on this developing story in primetime news at 7. More questions than answers. The Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, is calling on the government to provide the findings of an ecological study which was done in the Rio Cobre before it was restocked with fish. JET's CEO, Theresa Rodriguez Moody, was speaking on TVJ Smile Jamaica today.
Last Friday, 8,000 tilapia seed stock were introduced to the Rio Cobre. The National Environment and Planning Agency insists all necessary steps were taken before the exercise. For instance, an ecological assessment was conducted. But where is the report? Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, Theresa Rodriguez Moody, is demanding answers.
We've been told that, from the environmental performance bond that they pulled down on, which was about $115 million, 15 million of that, or about 16 million, it might be 15, was allocated to NEPA to undertake an ecological assessment. But then we're also told that Windalco was required to hire an independent ecologist, specialist to do an ecological assessment and to guide this restocking exercise. There's a little bit of a confusion, and really and truly I wonder if it's a bit of a conflict of interest, because I think NEPA and NFA should really be guiding that process independently.
She stressed the need for transparency.
Why it is that you've decided that tilapia is the species that you want to introduce. We have some further opportunities, because he said initially when we started it would be done in 4 phases. So we've done that first. They've done that first set last week Friday. But there are further opportunities. Tilapia, from my understanding, it's probably one of the easiest things to do because you can purchase the fingerlings at a fish farm. But is it the right species? Are we introducing them in the right location? Because again, one of the locations that they went to on Friday, the fishers said, no, this is the wrong place.
Additionally, issues about pollution still linger.
NEPA recognized that this river it has been impacted for many, many years, not just by the bauxite aluminum industry, but by other industries that line the river. And so they had indicated that they wanted to do a multi-stakeholder technical working group that would address some of these concerns, because they wanted to tackle the pollution that is being experienced by the general pollution of the Rio Cobre. Again, this is good because it's tackling the bigger issue. But again, we don't know the status of it.
Hal Shane Burke, TVJ News.
Residents in Cherry Gardens, Kitson Town, St. Catherine staged a peaceful protest Thursday morning over sewage issues in the community. The residents used the debris to block sections of the road. They're accusing the National Water Commission, NWC, and the National Housing Trust, NHT, of giving them the runaround.
And it's running all through the community. Children walking through it. Car driving through it, it's a hazard, Our homes is right there. We can't fetch our breath, so it's a hazard to the community.
I call the NWC back and ask them what they can do in the interim. They said they cannot send anyone inside here.
And you cannot send anyone
inside? I cannot send anyone inside here, because if I send anyone inside here and they chop any live line and get electrocuted, perhaps I'd have to run from here. I don't know where I'd have to run to.
But Member of Parliament for West Central St. Catherine, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says the development was private and so the sewage system is not part of the NWC's connection.
Since morning, my team has gone there, and arrangements are being made to get NWC back in to clear the system. But I think we're going to have to take some decisions around whether the system can be transferred officially to the responsibility of NWC, And if that is the case, then clearly residents would then have to pay a cost for the maintenance. It may mean a whole re-scoping of the process.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Former Prime Minister Bruce Golding is among a group of former CARICOM leaders scheduled to travel to Haiti next week to help bring consensus on the security issues. They are also scheduled to head to the U.S. to meet with stakeholders there. Chairman of CARICOM, Roosevelt Scott, asserts that while there must be greater consensus on the security crisis in Haiti, the solution must be Haitian-led.
We're here at the back or at the side supporting them. But it must be a Haitian-led solution. And so we're simply here as brothers and sisters helping with advancing the cause to a solution to this crisis confronting our brothers and sisters.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
The average cost of gasoline for most of the Caribbean is estimated to be among the highest fuel rates in the world. A recent blog by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, says it costs almost $1.50 US more per litre of gas. The average cost of diesel was just marginally lower. On the international scene, Facebook's parent company is taking its biggest swipe at Twitter yet. Wednesday, Meta officially launched its newest app called Threads. The app has many similarities to Twitter, including its layout and the product description. The company says messages posted to Threads will have a 500-character limit. Its goal is to offer space for real-time conversations online, potentially build a following, and connect with like-minded people. According to Meta, the app will be available on Apple and Android devices to 100 countries. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Hal Shane Burke.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, Caribbean community CARICOM leaders have agreed to allow the free movement of all categories of people by March next year. The initiative will address contingent rights, primary health, emergency health, basic education, pre-primary and secondary education, and other essential services. The CARICOM Single Market and Economy CSME previously allowed for the free movement of goods, persons, skills, and labor across the region. The leaders will hold a retreat in Dominica on August 18 and 19 to review regional governance and strengthen functional operation. On the international scene, Tel Aviv's main highway and other Israeli cities were blocked by crowds following the resignation of Israeli police chief Ami Eshed. Eshed was demoted in March for being politically charged, but his political removal was put on hold due to public criticism. Eshed refused to cooperate with the artificial appointment and refused to accept his proposal removal from his role as chief of Tel Aviv police. Israel's National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir claimed Eshed was lenient with protesters, allowing them to paralyze Tel Aviv's downtown for hours over the past half year. And at least 26 people were killed and another 34 injured on Wednesday after a bus fell into a ravine in Mexico. 24 people died at the scene of the accident and 2 died at hospital. Of the 34 people hospitalized, 15 are in serious condition. Officials say the ravine the bus fell into is 20 meters deep. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Carrie-Ann Simpson.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report with Jordan Fort.